All right, next matchup. We got Home Sweet Mahomes versus Team Purple Cobras. All right. So first off, we've had some crazy trades going on this week, and so as I'm doing these videos, some of these trades are taking place. I know the one that has to do with this game was Trey and myself, where I traded him Todd Gurley and the Chargers defense for Mark Ingram and the Patriots defense. So he's got some empty slots that he's going to fill. I'm going to make one assumption just simply because it's the only running back left on his bench that isn't on bye week. But then for the defense, he has two defenses, so I'll kind of talk about both of those depending on whatever decision um, he's going to make. So to dive right in, we got projected total 133.9, 117.3, which obviously is skewed because of that empty running back and defensive position. So it's actually going to be a really close matchup. So we'll kind of dig into here. Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford. Carson Wentz going against Chicago. That's a really tough matchup. Wentz has not been so impressive this year, and so Stafford, with Detroit having zero running game, man, he is just going to be passing it so much against this Oakland defense. He's going to hit home. I'm expecting 3 touchdown passes from Stafford. So projected total 23.7. I think he hits that or better. Wins around 18. I think that's fair. I could see it being even a little less. So I think Stafford's got a huge edge in this matchup. Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley. Leonard Fournette against Houston, Saquon against Dallas. Dallas's defense is a little bit tougher, I think, than Houston's. And so I think Saquon has a little bit more of a difficult day. And this Giants offense, it's been tough. I'll put it this way. It's been up and down each week. Very inconsistent as to how they're producing. So I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette in that matchup with a slight edge. They're both projected the exact same total, but I think Fournette has a slight edge there. Tevin Coleman against Mark Walton is who Trey is most likely going to plug in there unless he picks up someone off the waiver wire. So Tevin Coleman at Arizona, Mark Walton, Miami against the Jets defense. Both really good matchups. You could expect them to produce, but I'm giving the edge to Tevin Coleman once again here. Mark Walton he hasn't really shown up. He's the number one running back in an NFL offense. That's about the best thing you can say about Mark Walton at this point, whereas we've seen Tevin Coleman produce at a high level. So yeah, I think Coleman has a huge edge here. Wouldn't surprise me if Miami got behind, they started passing the ball more. And so that could be a little bit more of seeing Balaj. But Mark Walton can get involved in passing him too. I just don't expect him to produce big numbers in this game. Juju, Keenan Allen. Something's wrong with Keenan Allen. I don't know if it's the injury, a minor injury that he's dealing with and just kind of playing through. But something's not right with him, especially after the first 4 weeks of him being the number one fantasy wide receiver. Juju's looking better. And I would expect for even more volume to be there if James Conner misses, because they can only get Jalen Samuels involved so much. And Benny Snell being out, I mean, they're really beat up at running back. And so I think they may go a little more pass heavy against this Indy good run defense. So I think Juju gets more involved here. So I'm actually going to give the edge to Juju, which I know sounds crazy here, but it just seems to make more sense, especially if Jared Alexander is shadowing Keenan Allen. It's a tough matchup with a guy who hasn't been producing. So yeah. Julian Edelman, Kenny Golladay. I see they give the edge to Edelman, and it's a really close projection, obviously. But Kenny Golladay, like I said, this Detroit offense is just going to continue to pass the ball with zero to no or little to no running game. I think Kenny Golladay has the edge there. New England, they spread the ball around so much, so I think Edelman produces. And it may not be as big of a difference as I would think it is. But yeah, Kenny Galladay with the edge there. Darren Fells, Evan Ingram. Fells has come on. Yeah, I think it was something like since week 4. He's been a top 5 fantasy tight end. I'm not paused on that. I'm pretty sure I heard that, but obviously the past 2 to 3 weeks, this guy's come on strong, and so you like what he's doing there. Evan Ingram obviously is a top notch tight end talent. So just all that to say, I give the edge to Ingram. I just don't think it could end up as not big of an advantage as you would think just by name fame alone. Melvin Gordon against Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde going against Jacksonville. That's a pretty good run defense there. Melvin Gordon against Green Bay, which Green Bay has just been slashed. That they're averaging 20 plus points given up to running backs. So I definitely expect Gordon to get right here. They fired their offensive coordinator, Schottenheimer, I think this past week, with the uh, explanation of we want to be a more balanced team and we want to run the ball more. Schottenheimer was a little more pass heavy of an offensive coordinator. And so to me, that's an indicator that they're focused on getting Melvin Gordon the ball and getting him right, getting him more in rhythm and more touches consistently. So yeah, I think Melvin Gordon's got the edge in that one. Sam Darnold at Miami, Phillip Rivers at Green Bay. That's a little bit of a tougher one. Sam Darnold hasn't looked great lately, but man, going up against that Miami defense you really like. Phillip Rivers, Green Bay, they've been up and down. They're not as good as I think they started out the season. I still give the edge to Sam Darnold there, um, to have a better day against Miami. Panthers defense. I think Trey has Seattle and the Chargers defense now, so Chargers against Green Bay, pretty interesting matchup there. They're gonna be more run heavy. Aaron Rodgers has had a big day last week, so but man, Nick Bosa, or was it Joey Bosa off the edge of that's I could see some sacks happening. Aaron Rodgers not the most mobile quarterback. And then Seattle, trying to remember who Seattle's going up against. Tampa Bay. So Seattle's going up against Tampa Bay. It's a high volume passing offense, although Jameis, is turnover prone. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides there. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in this matchup. I'm going to go with home sweet Mahomes just because I think the matchups are better, hitting on a good week, though I think this ends up being a pretty close game.